The story of smoothing, repaneling a profile is really important because profile is gonna to make the plane flying. Therefore, for example, if I'm looking to this file, which is in a database of profile, this is a Selig 2055, and we can see right now that there are only 61 coordinated, and we can look in the dat file, that is the format for generally for profile. We have only 5 decimal. So this is gonna to lead to some problem, and we are going to open the mother of program, Xfoil from Magdwella, done in Fortran long time ago, but still totally on the bench today when it comes from aerodynamic, specifically 2D. I remind you that Xfoil is linked to Xfoil, profil is linked to Xfoil, flow 5 is linked to Xfoil indirectly, and so on and so on, and that many theses for the graduate student in aerodynamics. A lot of stuff are coming around Xfoil. So let's start using Xfoil. It's a very long time I didn't use it. So we need to load the profile, and this is S25 that. And we have it right now, and this is the one we have looked for the data with 61 couple of points. What is it telling us? Warning, poor input coordinate distribution, excessive panel angle, 51, no. Repaneling with span. So this is a submenu in Xfoil. So we need to go in this submenu, and in this submenu we're gonna to make some action about changing the number of points. For example, if we want to change the number of points, we want 3, and now we can see that we have 300. So generally I put at least 264 points. Right now you start to think, oh my gosh, I need to go into this software. I don't know this software. This is common line software. So nowadays it's old-fashioned, and you don't want to enter in this. So we switch to Xfoil, which is quite easy to understand. You have different way to modify and increase the number of points, change the distribution of the points along the extrudo and the intrado, change the density on a specific location. So this is this line here. If Magdwella wants a specific submenu about this, that was downloaded important for many aerodynamical reasons, about precision, about convergence in the 2D analyze, and so on. So I propose to switch now to some things that's a little more fancy. I don't have profil, but profil is also linked to Xfoil. This is the same type of. Now it's time to go to Xfoil 5 and open our profile, which is the Selig 2055. Normally in Xfoil, you would like to make refine globally, and we have here 61 panels, and we want more. We want 250. You could watch right now that's all the parameters about the benching, the density ratio, the specific areas that you want to refine from a specific limits on the code or along the code are exactly the same as it exists in Xfoil. And the simple reason is Xfoil 5 is totally linked to Xfoil, and this is the same that a PPAR of Xfoil. We will say OK, and we will say version 2 for this one. Now we have 2 profiles, and you can start right now to see that there are some little differences. The location of the thickness happens at 35.74, and for the new version it has changed a little bit, and that's the same for the camber. So I propose to simply make an analyze, getting back some polars for these two profiles through a batch analyze. We are good to go with -3 and 12 in the analysis range alpha. Let's do it. So it will be very fast, few seconds, because the computer is quite powerful. And so we will be able to compare the result in the polar of this simple operation that we have just done. So I think that it's pretty obvious. You have already a huge difference between the normal original Selig with this data, and now I propose to watch what happens to the file. You remember here we had only 5 decimal, and now we open this one and we have 6 decimal here. It makes a huge difference at the end, but this is not only about a question of a beautiful curve on the computer. I mean that you will see this on the card, and you will see this later on your molds, and you will see this on your wing, and that's make a huge differences. And I can guarantee you that if you have, let's say, the most beautiful machine to cut your wing and it stops every time there is a bump in the profile, and this machine will do this, do you imagine what will be the result? I want to introduce you now, and that's the last one, to this software. This is Airfoil Editor. This is the last version in March 2024, because for me this was really a game changer, and I can only applaud the work that had been done by the guy who have created such tool. Let's discover Airfoil Editors. That is the last version that had been updated in March 2024. But before entering in this software, I would like to show you where you can find it, where you can find some documentation, because natively there is no documentation. Often you can have a readme text file, and so I'm gonna to show you some information about this. So first of all, you have a topic about this software in SE Group's forum, because Platform Creator 2 and Airfoil Editor are likely to be linked. I don't know if the developer are the same or not. So you have actually 2 pages of information. You also have a whole topic on the German forum, and you just need to open Google Translate and choose the language that you want, and then you will get some information about what's going on with the software. On GitHub, you can download. You, of course, on the SE Group forum, you have a link for downloading the software. I don't remember where it is. Maybe the second page. Okay, so you will find this, the first page. You have a link here, Airfoil Editor, Platform Creator. So the topic is Airfoil Editor today in this video. It drops you here on the GitHub, and you will download Platform Creator and Airfoil Editor, both of them in one shot. You could have some problem with your antivirus, so you need to add an exception to this antivirus. How it looks like this. So you have 2 exe file, and you're gonna to use this one for the purpose of this video, I use only this one. So let's come back to the software Airfoil Editor. So we have on the top window our profile. You can see the number of points, the camber, and here what is interesting is that we can have I would say the bump. So there is you need to let the log scale wire. You can see the problems on the upper side, the extruder. So we can see here that there are some things not really fine here and on the leading edge. And we can ask for also the intruder. The red here is a derivative of the curvature, so don't give it too much attention. You could use the pan and zoom, and I would say it's not really properly working, so I don't like to use it. You could normally zoom, but don't come back efficiently. I would prefer to have the classical Control or Alt mouses to maximize or minimize here. Here you open and download your file. So I have already opened it for Selig 2055. The second box is about modifying the geometry. So that's very classical. You already find this in Xfoil or Xfoil. You have some information about the thickness, camber, gap, and position of all of this accordingly to the code. The third box is about panels. We already know about this. And what is very nice is that this software in Orange is telling you that there are some problems. And there are also some problems on the fourth boxes here coordinated. And we will use this button to go forward. The story of curvature is simply that you have a reversal in the curvature when it's changing of direction. So classically, you will have at least one reversal on the bottom of the intruder along the hinge line of the aileron wallet, because it gives some camber to the profile, and that gives more lift. With this software, you need to maximize your screen. For example, I have a 4K screen OLED, and if I don't maximize my window, I simply cannot see the button here on the fifth boxes. So I will come back to these two buttons. But now it's time first to normalize the coordinated. And I need to maximize this window because else if I cannot access to the button. So now I want to save my work like this, and I want to keep only one name, because each time you make a modification, the software is proposing you a new name. So after a while, for the same work on the same profile, you retrieve a bunch of files, and I don't need this. So I will keep with the same name all along the process. So you just click OK to normalize everything, and everything will be fine. That'll be done. That's one thing. Now we need to repanel. Yes. And in this window, you have three, but mainly two important parameters. If I put too many points, it starts to strike the points at the leading edge. So you need to balance the two parameters. I suppose that 250 is already good. And you just need to stay below this. Now let's look what had been done, and you can see the difference here. And the difference is impressive because we started with only 60 points, 60 couple of points in X and Y, and now we have a lot of points. That's very important aerodynamically, but later when you will mill and you cut, so you can also increase at the trailing edge the number of points to bench them. But to be frank, you don't necessarily need to push up everything to 1, for example. So I can ask 1, that's the maximum, but I think it's not necessary. The work had been done, and I will save. Now you can see that the orange stuff has disappeared, and we get something with our points. So I don't want to play too much with the screen because generally speaking it's difficult to come back. You can use this arrow, but it's not all time working. We have still some problems, and now we can go to the specials. So first of all, I want to show you this one because it's largely used in profil, and I think that Xfoil can do such a thing. Blending to profile is choosing two profile, and so let's say that I will use why not this one, and I can choose a percentage. I can balance between the two, and graphically it shows me what it will become. So that's quite simple. Of course, I will not blend anything. I want to go to the Airfoil Bezier right now. And the Airfoil Bezier is a way to smooth the profile. They say that they use a quite different function than Markdweller, and I believe them. By using some Bezier function, I suppose that it is like this, you can control till 8 control points along the spline on the extruder and on the intruder. So if I click 9, the button is in gray now and I cannot click. In my opinion, it works like this. They try to match the new spline as close as possible to the previous profile. But you have the possibility to manually change, like you do in a card, the position of the control points here in orange. You can see that if I ask 7, there are less points. I will keep 8 points. So I say again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 on the leading gauge, 1 here. That's control points for the splines. Let's do it. I need to match. You need to click on both buttons one after each other to get some result. Is happy with the result. And now we try to do this one. So it needs some calculation. And he's happy with the result. And I am very happy with the result also. So you click OK. And things looks like really better. Really, really better. I would like to come back to the original profile to see the differences between the new Bezier Airfoil modified by Airfoil Editor with the original. So I have another version of Airfoil Editor that will be almost like the same. We can see that thickness is almost the same. The position has moved of 0.5% and the camber has decreased and almost has not changed of position. So that's very good. I'm very impressed with the result. And now, of course, I propose you to take this new profile. So we have our original profile, the one that had been smoothed by Xfoil. So I rename it Selig 2055 Xfoil. So it's easier to read. And now we will import a new profile modified with Airfoil Editor. Here we are. Of course, we'll not refine globally this one. We don't touch. It's okay. And now I will make a batch analyze for this one, new incomer. The result. So I will remove the oldest one, first one. I'm trying to go here. So let me have a look. We will remove this, and we will remove this and this. I don't want this one. Sorry, this one. And this one. Yes, that's really more readable. And we have a huge difference. A huge difference on the top of the curve in the lift department. So around lift 0, it's almost the same. I would say the drag and lift are slightly the same, slightly. There is a little advantage, however, here in this curve. And strangely enough, you have a little advantage at low Reynolds. You can see here, this is about 50,000 Reynolds. But on the top, and especially here and here, we have large differences. So this story of numerical smoothing is not a gadget. It translates in the aerodynamical result first, and of course it translates after when you are milling something, especially if you have an accurate machine, because the machine will bumps by respecting the numerical bumps, of course. Okay, you would tell me, I don't care because at the end you sand the mold, you polish everything, and if you are doing a good work, it will be very glossy, very shiny, very nice, and your wings will have very good look. Yes, surely. But the problem is that you don't stick to the profile, and you can, by sanding and polishing, you can easily get out of 30, 40, 50, 60 micron or more. Yes, really easily. So as much as possible, you would like to have something perfect first numerically with a high accuracy, because after it's chain of events and you are just getting out of the words that you have specified during the aerodynamical process. This is all I think. You can have another opinion,